My name's Jason Creel, and in this video I'm going to show you the two products I'm using to clean up grassy weeds out of the lawn. Let's get started right now. Today's video is sponsored by my friends at Yardbook. If you're looking for a lawn care software and you're in the lawn care business, check out Yardbook at yardbook.com. Okay, so I'm in Alabama and we're dealing with warm season grasses. I'm going to show you one of my absolute favorite combinations of herbicides I use on the lawn. And I want to tell you why I like this combination. And then we're going to go out in the lawn. We're going to spray several different types of grassy weeds and show you the effectiveness of this combination. So here's the two products, Zoysia and Certainty. One of the things I like about this, I can mix these two together and it can be used on Bermuda lawns, Centipede lawns, St. Augustine lawns, and Zoysia lawns, which is basically the four main grass types I'm dealing with in my area. Also, by mixing these two together, I'm getting broadleaf weeds, sedges, and grassy weeds all at the same time. So I can use it on pretty much all four of the primary grass types I'm seeing, and just about any weed I see, I'm going to get some level of control with these two products mixed together. Now, if you just use one, you could get pretty good results, but mix them together, obviously the cost is going to go up. But I'm typically not going out blanket spraying an entire yard. I'm typically using this for spot treating. So today I just got it mixed up in a little 2-gallon handheld sprayer. I'm gonna put links to the sprayer I'm using, to the products in the description of the video. And let me show you exactly how I'm mixing this up. So 2 gallons in this little sprayer, and they both come with little handy scoops, or at least I got a scoop from the Zoysia people. Now sometimes it just comes with the measuring cap. The scoop to me is definitely superior. So on the Certainty, it has a large side to the scoop and a small side. I go with 2 large scoops in 2 gallons of water. And then on the Zoysia, I typically mix at a mid to high rate, but then spray it just lightly. So the high rate on Zoysia, you may have a hard time seeing here on the numbers here, but you see the 0.226 line, I believe that is the high rate for 2 gallons. So half of that would be the high rate for 1 gallon. But since, you know, and when it says, you'll read the label, it'll say for 1,000 square feet, you know, it'll say, so the high rate is something like 0.113 or something for the high rate. Well, you know, I'm going to double that and put it in 2 gallons of water. So when it tells you 1,000 square feet, oftentimes you can equate that to 1 gallon of water if you spray lightly. Now, if you spray more heavily, you might want to go with 1.5 gallons of water. Now, if you're fortunate enough to get one of these Zoysia spoons, then I'm going with 2 of the large side scoops. Got a large side, small scoop. 2 scoops per 2 gallons of water, you know, so basically a scoop per gallon. And then a scoop per gallon with the large side of the Certainty scoop. And then I put surfactant in there. What the surfactant does is going to help it stick to the plant to be more effective. So, all right, so that's the products I'm using. That's the rate I'm using them at. And we're going to take this little handheld pump-up sprayer. Again, this is something you put in a backpack or a handheld sprayer. I'm rarely going to put this in my gram rig because of the cost of the products. It's not something I'm typically going to go blanket the whole yard with. You're going to rack up a bill. And sometimes people get a little sticker shock because, like, you know, this little bottle might cost $100 or something like that. But when you're just spot treating, your costs are very minimal. Now again, if you're going to go spray the whole yard, you're spraying money at that point. So wouldn't recommend that unless you're really trying to clean up a bad yard. Let's go find some weeds and test these two products out, and we'll show you the results in this video. Okay, I'm filming this video in May in Alabama, and the first weed we're going to show you is crabgrass. And you can see the crabgrass starting to pop up. It's not very large at this time. Now, there may be some better crabgrass products out there. Typically we use quinclorac for a crabgrass post-emergent. We're going to try this today. I've marked 4 different areas with these flags so we can spray and see what kind of results we get. So we're going to start off spraying the crabgrass. All right, I got my PPE on, rubber gloves, rubber boots, glasses, long pants, long sleeve shirt. All right, moving on to the next weed. The second weed we're going to spray today is annual foxtail. At least I believe that's what it's called. And oftentimes it's very easy to recognize as you see the real dark, deep red color in the center of the plant. Now when it gets mature, it puts up a seed head. It looks like a foxtail, hence the name. So we're going to spray the annual foxtail. And there's going to be, on these weeds, there'll be weeds that are not being sprayed that we can show the difference in what has been sprayed and what's not been sprayed. All right, the third weed we're spraying is not technically a grassy weed, but it's a sedge, and it's Kalinga. I see Kalinga a lot. Kalinga is on the label for both Celsius and Certainty, so we're gonna see what kind of results we get spraying this little patch of Kalinga with the Celsius Certainty combo. See, again, the Kalinga oftentimes easier to recognize as it gets more mature. It has kind of a little spiky ball that pops up on it, as differentiated from nut sedge. Typically grows in more clumps, where nut sedge will be more individual. But let's spray this and see what happens. And this weed we're going to spray is annual ryegrass. This is a Bermuda lawn that was overseeded with annual ryegrass, but we're going to try to get the ryegrass out of the Bermuda grass and let the Bermuda grass start filling in. So it's been mowed lately, but you can see the ryegrass is here, and it's, you know, all in this area. So let's spray that and see what happens. The final weed we're going to spray is Dallas grass. It's a tough one. I don't actually expect it to kill the Dallas grass, but I'm hoping to get some good control. So let me show you the Dallas grass. It typically has a dull color, a dull finish, I think, in terms of paint, you know, the sheen of the paint. So where crabgrass is going to have a little bit glossier look, the sedges typically have a high gloss. I would say Dallas grass, it comes in a flat, okay? So it's a flat grain. And so I'm going to spray this and we'll see what happens. We're going to check back on the results in this video and track this and see what kind of results we get with this application. So it's been about 3.5 days since the initial application. Let's see if anything's happened with the weeds. Start off on the Dallas grass. There's the one, some that hasn't been sprayed versus ones that have been sprayed. The only thing I can see, and it's maybe not showing up on the camera too great, but on the edge of the leaf here, you can see just a little bit of discoloration. So, which I don't expect it to actually kill this Dallas grass, but I'm hoping for at least some decent results. So very minimal results. Of course, again, it's not been very long after the application. Now the ryegrass is, it's getting hot anyway, so I expect this ryegrass to die. Out here in Alabama, it's gonna die with the hot weather, and we've been hot and dry. But you can see some that hasn't been sprayed over here. I'm gonna estimate this to be 10 inches tall and growing fast. So it does appear that this is not really growing much, about the same height it was. I'm gonna probably mow it today, and we'll see if it grows back. So, you know, over here you can see where it's really short, some discoloration. So maybe minimal results. Again, it's hard. It's gonna be a little bit hard to tell what the heat's doing to it versus what the chemicals are doing to it. Kalinga, see a little discoloration on the tips of that one versus one that hasn't been sprayed. Over here is all green. So this is just our early initial view here. We might have to give it a little more time in between the next check-in, because I want to see some stuff happen. Let's see, what is this one? Oh, foxtail. So there's a healthy green foxtail. More visible results on this. Again, so how much of it comes through on the camera, you can see that one. Definitely some browning. Leaves beginning to curl a little bit. So positive sign on the foxtail. And lastly will be the crabgrass. Similar, I can see some obvious discoloration right there. Not looking too good. So that's a positive sign versus, again, a healthy one that has not been sprayed is nice and green. All right, we give it a little more time. We'll see what happens on the next check-in. So it's been about a week since we did the application. Let's check on the weeds and see what's going on. Okay, so the first one we're going to check out is the Dallas grass. And you can see definitely more discoloration since the last time we checked on it. Almost like a purplish color to the leaves. Is it dead? No, it's not dead. Is it going to die? Probably not. But you can compare it with the untreated Dallas grass. So it is suppressing it a little bit. It is showing the discoloration. Possibly with follow-up application, you might can kill it, but it's a very tough weed to kill. All right, what about the ryegrass? Now, it's been hot and dry, which is not good for ryegrass. You can see our Bermuda grass here is still nice and green, and the ryegrass is showing some serious discoloration. Now, there's still some green in there. It's not dead, and from previous applications, I know that this can be a slow weed to die, but it's not growing very much, which is a good thing, because I can see some ryegrass over here that wasn't sprayed significantly taller than what has been sprayed. So it's suppressing the growth, discoloration, and I think it will die. It's just going to take some time. What about the Kalinga? I do see some discoloration in the leaf there. Also going to be a slow one, and don't expect it to die, but just wanting to see some suppression. And again, it looks terrible because it's out here in the open. If this was a thick Bermuda lawn, then if you suppress its growth, it's not going to be nearly as noticeable. But I kind of picked one on purpose that was out here in the open so we could see the results. So we'll keep checking on it. For whatever reason, Celsius Certainty Combo does awesome on foxtail. You can see the foxtail has not been treated here, nice and green, and what has been treated by far of the weeds we've looked at so far, by far the most visible results. So it's definitely suppressing it. Again, there's another healthy example, working great on the foxtail, so really happy to see that. Lastly is the crabgrass. So we've got several different crabgrass plants here. This is the one that's most noticeable in there, and you can see the discoloration. Let me find a healthy one. You can see here the green color that's in that crabgrass. You can see that crabgrass, that does have a little bit of discoloration. I'm not sure what that's from. But this is turning brown. No complete, just unbelievable results so far, except for maybe the foxtail. I think that was pretty amazing in a week's time. But we're gonna let this keep going. Check back in one more time, maybe in another week to 10 days before we wrap up the video and see what kind of results we get at that point. So we'll check back soon. It's time to wrap up the video spraying the grassy weeds with the Celsius and Certainty. Let me just say, that is one of my favorite combos to get rid of weeds with. So if you're looking for a warm season grass combo to just simplify things and get almost every weed in your yard, this is a great combo. So the results were sort of mixed on these grassy weeds. Grassy weeds are typically a little bit tougher to kill than the broadleaf weeds. But there's some really good things that happen, and then some that were kind of expected. So let's check out the results. All right, so we're going to kind of work our way from what I consider to be really good results to not so good results. And one that really impressed me is the crabgrass. So you can look at crabgrass this time of year is really starting to take off. So that's an untreated crabgrass. And then the one that's been sprayed, you can see is purplish brown. Look at that one, you know, just how well it is controlled. And you can see again how big this one's getting. It's just growing, expanding, keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. So, I mean, I think that's excellent control. I mean, look at this. Again, excellent. A little bit bigger one, not quite as good, but I would say that's pretty good. Is it dead? Probably not. Will it continue to deteriorate, or will it get better? I really don't know if we kept the video dragging it out longer and longer, but I think it definitely would call that effective. Now, foxtail, let's show you that. Also, excellent results. I mean, you can see that one there is just sick and ugly looking. Just here's some that are basically just, I mean, I would basically call that dead almost. I don't know. It's definitely controlled. When you compare it with what has not been treated, and look, it's growing like crazy versus what's been treated. So I would say excellent results on the foxtail. Kalinga. I mean, I'm not gonna say excellent, but I'm not gonna say terrible. It's hard to know. I think basically you can see a little bit of discoloration on the leaves.
I think it basically just stops it from growing. I don't expect this to shrivel up and die. It just kind of freezes it. Again, if it was in a thick, healthy Bermuda yard, wouldn't be very noticeable. I think it basically just froze it in time. It's not growing. And, you know, maybe a second application would do more to it. There is some discoloration, but there's the results we got for Kalinga. Okay, ryegrass. It's still alive, sorta, but definitely brown. Now, mowing it stresses it out, hot weather stresses it out, so it's hard to know how much goes with the herbicide, but I know from other applications I've done, it can take a while if you do it in the springtime to knock out some ryegrass out of your warm season lawn. So it can be sort of slow, definitely slows it down from growing, but it is an effective combination for that. So you can see this ryegrass is not doing much, and I would expect it to continue to deteriorate from the herbicide application, as well as the heat, as well as the mowing. And lastly, let's look at the Dallas grass. So an untreated Dallas grass. Here I cut the grass a few days ago. You see it just bounces right back, green. And the one that's been sprayed, you're getting that same purplish brown tints that you were getting on the crabgrass. So definitely suppresses it. You know, if you did 2-3 apps, would it die? I don't know, but it slowed it down for sure. And Dallas grass is a really tough one. So, you know, I would be encouraged by the results we got with that. Very encouraged with the crabgrass, foxtail, mediocre on the ryegrass and the Kalinga, and I would say decent results as well on the Dallas grass. There's no perfect herbicide, I know that. No perfect combination is going to get every weed, but I like to show you the actual results, spraying it on video so that you can see what happens, so you don't have to be wondering what's going to happen when you spray it in your lawn or on a customer's lawn. I'm Jason Creel. If you hadn't done so, subscribe to the channel. I'm getting dangerously close to 100,000 subscribers at the time of this video, so you can help me get there if you hadn't done so far. Also, if you're thinking about getting into weed control and fertilization business, you can go over to linecarelife.com and check out the resources available for you there, video courses and things like that. Or you might just want to watch more videos. There's some popping up on your screen right now. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.